Housing is the #1 expense in most people's lives, and in this video I will be going over the top 5 cities for you to fire in. This will let you live the lifestyle that you want for a quarter of the cost. Cutting expenses is a great way to retire sooner because you'll need less money saved to live the life that you want. And make sure to stick around to the end of the video so you can find out what all of these places have to offer you. I will factor in living expenses, safety, quality of life, culinary experiences, and what there is to do there. #1, Istanbul. Istanbul is a really unique city because it's in 2 continents at the same time. It's half in Europe and half in Asia. It has attractions such as the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and the Istanbul Museum of Modern Art. Istanbul used to be Constantinople, so if you're a history fanatic, then this city has tons to offer you. It also has tons of archaeological sites scattered all around Turkey. Istanbul is right across the sea from Greece, so you can take a day trip for about $20 to Athens, and honestly, living anywhere in Europe gives you access to pretty much all the European countries within a day or two. Now, what area of Istanbul should you live in? I would recommend staying on the Asian side because it costs much less than the European side, but the European side has more to offer. However, you can take a ferry for about 20 cents from the Asian side to the European side. Istanbul is a very large city, so most likely you're going to be living in apartments. The apartments on the low end range from $50,000 to $80,000, and on the medium range, they range from $80,000 to $150,000, and if you really want to go luxury, it's going to be about $150,000 plus. If I were moving here long term, I would probably look to buy an apartment for about $200,000. This is where you get the best bang for your buck. However, if you're only staying a couple months or a couple years, you might just want to rent. And if you're renting, you can expect to pay $200 on the low end to $800 on the high end, depending on what side you live on. Again, I would recommend probably spending about $400 on an apartment. I think that's a good price. Life in Istanbul can vary greatly depending on which side you live on, but on average, I would expect you to spend about $1,300 to $1,500 a month if you're single, and $1,600 to $1,800 a month if you are a couple. This is a lot cheaper than America. The lifestyle you'll live depends a lot on which side you pick, with the eastern side being much more hustle and bustle and like touristy, and the Asian side being a lot more relaxed and homely. You can find both extremes on each side, it just depends on the neighborhood. Istanbul is very diverse and there are so many neighborhoods. There are neighborhoods that resemble Brooklyn or even neighborhoods that resemble Paris. Now, Istanbul is generally very safe and most of the city is a great place to live. However, with any big city, there are areas that you want to avoid. Avoiding these areas in Istanbul is actually pretty easy. My only advice for this is do research on an area before booking an apartment and beware of those $200 apartments because some of them could be located in a bad area. All right, let's get into the culinary aspects of Istanbul. Istanbul is famous for foods such as baklava, pide, and many others. Tea is also a very prominent thing and you will be offered tea by many shop owners or just people on the street. In Istanbul, you can expect to spend about $150 to $200 a month on food. The people of Istanbul are very kind and they will even go as far as to invite you into their home and give you free food. So one last thing about Istanbul is that it has a very large population of stray cats. So take that as you will, but that just makes me love the city even more. #2 is Buenos Aires. This city is the capital of Argentina and a great place to go if you want to learn how to dance, speak Spanish, or really enjoy football. Buenos Aires is home to the Plaza de Mayo and the Casa Rosada. There are tons of archaeological sites scattered around Argentina as well, so for all my history buffs, I got you. Living in this city, you also have affordable and fast access to most Central and South American countries. One perk about living here is you have great opportunities for language learning. You could go to the University of Buenos Aires, which has a great language program, or you could even hire a private tutor that would cost about $5 an hour. Now, the best areas to live in this cities are Palermo, Recoleta, or Hollywood. These areas are great and put you close to other expats, Wi-Fi, nightlife, and the best restaurants. When moving to Buenos Aires, you will most likely be looking at apartments, and apartments can range from $200 all the way to $800 and at most $1,000. If you're looking to purchase an apartment here, then you'll probably be spending on the low end $50,000 and on the high end $300,000, with the median being around $150,000. However, in Buenos Aires, it does not make much sense to buy a house because renting is significantly cheaper than if you bought. Healthcare here is top notch and most of the time you will not be paying over $100. That is a huge change from people living in America. The public transportation in the city is very good, so you will not need a car. However, when you do need a car, it is much cheaper to rent one because the taxes imposed on cars are very high in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is the tango capital of the world, and you can get a top-notch teacher for about $10 an hour. Unless you are living like an absolute king, you will probably expect to spend about $1,100 in this city. Overall, Buenos Aires is a fantastic city to move to if you're trying to achieve financial independence. This is because your money goes so much farther than if you were living in somewhere like the USA. The city is so full of life, and there are so many opportunities to build the life that you want. From learning how to paint to tango, it's all here. Number 3, Calabria. Calabria is the least visited region of Italy, which makes it perfect for you to retire there. There are almost no tourists in Calabria, and so you get a much more authentic Italian experience at a fraction of the cost. This region of Italy is acclaimed to be the culinary capital of Italy from sources like National Geographic or Italia IT. The wine, olive oil, and seafood are all staples of this area. With 3 national parks and 500 miles of coastline, Calabria is absolutely stunning. This location will be for people who are looking to escape the big city life and live the small town life, connecting with your neighbors and joining community dinners. Calabria offers many small towns as well as medium-sized cities, so you can choose the lifestyle you want to live. There are so many beach towns scattered across the Tyrrhenian Sea, as well as many medieval towns that archaeologists will love. Most people in Calabria are very warm and friendly, but a lot of them only speak Italian, so learning Italian is a must if you're planning to move here. Calabria is also home to several airports, giving you cheap access to all of Europe, the Middle East, and some of Africa. The rent here starts at about $300 and on average is about $500 to $600. On the high end, it's about $800. If you're looking to buy a house or apartment in this area, then you'll be looking at about $1 on the low end, $150,000 on the average, and $300,000 plus on the high end. Yes, you heard that right, a $1 house. How is that possible? Italy has many $1 homes that are part of a government program to improve areas in Italy. These houses will more realistically cost you $100,000 plus after repairs, but some of them can be a really good deal if they don't have any foundational issues. Italy has many old, beautiful buildings, so if you're ballin' like that, you could buy a castle for about $2 to $3 million. Calabria is very safe, and you really do not have to worry about crime in this area. The average living expenses come out to about $1,200 a month, and this is factoring in your car, your food, your rent, pretty much everything. Overall, Calabria is a great option if you're looking to retire in the beach or the mountains. If you're looking for that big city life, then I probably would not recommend this area to you. But if you're looking to live that tight-knit, small-town life, then this area is amazing. Santa Domenica Talao is my favorite area in this region because you have the mountains behind you and the sea in front of you. Super Savvy Travelers LLC is a great resource for this area, and she can even help you find a house. I will link to her information below. Number 4, Bangkok. Bangkok is the most populated city in the world with about 10 million people living there. This area is very popular among expats because of how far your money will take you. The nightlife here is also phenomenal, and there's so many things to do. The many things to do in Bangkok include trying all the local food, going to the Grand Palace, or even traveling down Khao San Road. There are many night markets here that all offer their own unique experiences, and markets are a huge part of the culture here, and you can even find markets on the water. If you're a shopper, then Bangkok has you covered with all of their shopping malls. In these malls, you can find pretty much anything you're looking for and haggle with the vendor to get the best price. Apartments in Bangkok can range from $150 on the low end, $200 to $400 on average, and $400 plus on the luxury end. The sky is really the limit in Bangkok as there's tons of penthouse apartments. Bangkok is a great city to live big on a budget because the top apartments probably won't cost you more than $1,000. Now, because the city is so large, it makes much more sense to rent than to buy. To throw all your misconceptions out the door when it comes to Bangkok, the crime rate in Bangkok is actually less than a lot of major US cities. Healthcare here is very good, and private healthcare is decently cheap. I would definitely recommend you go with private healthcare because the public healthcare, the hospitals can get a bit crowded. Your cost of living in Bangkok should be about $1,100, but this really depends on how you want to live, and the sky is really the limit. Overall, Bangkok is a great option if you're looking to retire early but still live in a prominent city that has amazing nightlife. The food here is also very diverse, and the people are kind. Last but not least, we have number 5, which is Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is a great area to move to if you want to be in a big city but have the option to slow down. This city is a diverse and beautiful city that has great food, culture, and architecture. From castles to monasteries to museums, this area has all the art and history that you will ever need. One great thing about living in Lisbon, and honestly all of Portugal, is that you have pretty much every landscape you can think of within a 30-minute to an hour drive of you. For example, in Lisbon, you can drive to the beach in about 30 minutes, or you can drive to the mountains in about an hour. The Portuguese people are very warm once you get to know them, and Lisbon is the perfect size to have all the perks of a big city while maintaining the community of a small town. Lisbon has become a popular destination for expats, and there are many co-working spaces scattered all around Lisbon. This means that you will not be the only expat in the area, and joining an expat group is a great way to form relationships when you first get there. In Portugal, most people buy and few rent, so when you're looking for an apartment in Lisbon, you'll have a much easier time if you're looking to buy, but saying that, you can still find great apartments that you can rent. If you are looking to rent, you can expect to spend between $600 to $1,000 a month. This is a lot more expensive than renting in the other cities that I've listed, but that's because the supply is low and the demand for housing is high. When buying a house in Lisbon, you can expect to spend on average $150,000 to $200,000, but if you're looking to buy on the higher end, then you probably will go $300,000 plus. If you're looking for extreme luxury here, the sky is really the limit. You can buy a penthouse apartment for like $2 million and be set. Lisbon is one of the most expensive cities in Portugal, but saying that, it is still much cheaper than the United States and a great place to live. The healthcare here is extremely good for a fraction of the price of what it would be in the United States. The total cost of living per month in Lisbon that you should expect is about $2,200. The food in Lisbon is fantastic, but there are not as many options when going out to eat as there are in the US. The crime rate in Lisbon is very low, and you should be good walking around the city at pretty much all times. Saying this, it is a city, so keep your eye out for stuff, but most of the time you'll be fine. If you're looking at Lisbon and decide it's not for you, I encourage you to look at other areas of Portugal because they're all fantastic. I mean, if you're looking to live at the beach, you can go to the Silver Coast. A really good research for moving to Portugal is Our Rich Journey, which I'll link to in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought you some value and helped you figure out where you want to retire when you hit that FI number. If you want to learn more about personal finance, investing, or the FIRE movement, then I recommend you follow along with this channel by subscribing. Thanks and peace.